Today I was at home just doing my work when I got a cold call from an organization. Now, I typically don't take very many cold calls. You know, if I find out it's a business shilling me something, I'll just say, you know what, no, I don't do cold calls. But they announced right at the front that they're a pro-life organization. And so I wanted to give them a time of day. You know, as a Christian, this is an issue I care about, and I see myself as a steward of the Lord's money that He's entrusted me with. And so I want to make sure that I'm investing that money in good organizations and worthy causes that align with His own heart. And so I wanted to just, hear what they had to say. And so I'm not going to put them on blast because I don't know a ton about their organization. I'm only just going off the one phone call I had. But anyways, they introduced themselves and they just said that they had one question, and that is, was I pro-life? And I said, yes, I'm pro-life. And they said, excellent. And so then they just gave me a little pitch that they were basically looking for donations and just wondering if I would possibly donate to their organization. Now, I told them straight up that, I am interested in supporting pro-life organizations and causes, but, I don't quickly say yes to donations, but I want to make sure that the organization itself is good and they're doing good things. And so I usually don't donate without at least doing some research. And so when I told him that, he asked me, would you like to hear some of our accomplishments? I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's great. I don't know much about you, and I'd love to hear about your accomplishments. And so he said two different things. The first is, he says, in the province where I live, he says that, we've amassed this many thousands of pro-life people who are now on our mailing list. And the second is that they've been doing a successful marketing campaign at one of the largest Christian radio stations in the province. Now, after he said those two things, I'm kind of just waiting for the next thing. Okay, now let's get to the action. What are you doing? But that was the end of the pitch. They were doing, building a list and reaching out to the Christian radio station to kind of push their message. And at the end, I'm like, I told him, I said, it's really important to me that, that an organization be not tied up on bureaucracy, but is actually doing something and kind of has a defined mission and is going forward with that. I told him on the phone, I said, look, pro-life organizations have a financial incentive for keeping abortion going. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's this mass conspiracy or they actually are pro-choice, but I'm just saying that, if abortion is ended, completely gone, they're out of a job, they're out of a mission, the whole organization ceases. But, if they're incremental, if they're just kind of rallying and doing some protests, they do maybe, some legislation, they just little bits, they can keep going on for generations and generations. And, it provides their wages and, gives them purpose and meaning. And so, I'm at least aware of it because, this is the fact that there are many pro-life organizations that have opposed the complete abolition of abortion and instead go for incrementalism as the goal.
There is a bill right now in Oklahoma, SB 1118. The bill itself seeks to classify abortion as first-degree murder and to end abortion completely in the state of Oklahoma. The resistance to this bill has come from very peculiar places. This letter came out from a man named Tony, who is the vice president of the National Right to Life, and he's the chairman of Oklahomans for Life. Tony was asked by a senator how he felt about SB 1118. And in the letter that's going around right now from Tony, Tony essentially says that this bill, SB 1118, would effectively do away with the incremental policies that have been put in place in Oklahoma. In other words, SB 1118 would call abortion murder, would classify it as a first-degree murder charge, and would do away with it. But Tony, the vice president of the National Right to Life, says that SB 1118 would do away with the incremental policies. So you need to think hard about what was just said. SB 1118 would do away with abortion and call it murder, and Tony, with the National Right to Life and Oklahomans for Life, says that it would do away with the incremental policies that we've worked so hard for. Yes, that's what their position is.
Now, somebody can go for incrementalism, meaning you're taking steps to end abortion rather than just cutting it off fully. But, is that, a step in the process towards the abolition, or is that the end goal? And there's some that don't have the abolition of abortion as the goal. They don't talk about abortion being murder. They don't talk about the full out banning of abortion. And so there's an incentive for them to keep going. And I just want to make sure that the organizations that donate to don't have that they want the full-on abolition of abortion. That's what I'm looking for in an organization that I'm going to support. And so anyways, that definitely was not something that was communicated. It was all about preaching to the choir. I mean, the ads that they're not running ads on the secular rock station in the major cities. No, they're running it on the Christian radio stations, and where there's going to be less likely of people considering abortion or kind of looking for alternatives, pregnancy care center or whatever. Instead, they're just trying to find the faithful. They're trying to find the pro-life people and gather them all up together. And that is a part of it that needs to happen. But that's kind of an administrative step. You have to build a list, but you gotta do something with the list. You gotta have some action. And so, anyway, there's a good contrast. End Abortion Now is an excellent pro-life ministry, and they say right up at front, they have two goals. The first is doing sidewalk ministry outside of abortion clinics, where they gather people together in communities to go do outreach at abortion clinics to try to save babies on the spot. And they give a defined message. They say, when you're outside of the clinic, this is the type of thing that we're saying. Here's some equipping stuff so that you feel confident in being able to reach out to people and defend the pro-life message, but also to offer help. And then they say that the other purpose is legislative, that they are equipping people to go stand before their legislators and just, declare the rights of the unborn, and to call them to be a sanctuary city for the unborn, and to call abortion murder, and to say that that they need to stop, and that these local legislators need to interpose on behalf of the unborn, standing up to the higher authorities who are letting abortions happen in their community, and just saying, no, not in our area. And so they have a specific goal. They are trying to end abortion. They're taking concrete steps. They're not just hoping for the best, but they actually have action plans that they're carrying out and equipping people to do. So the purpose of this video is just to get you to think about how effective are the organizations that you're donating to. Are they just kind of preaching to the choir? Are they tied up in bureaucracy? Do they have the same goal that you have? What exactly is it that they're doing, and can they show that they are actually being successful, or at least trying their best and actually executing on a game plan? Or is it just just big business and they're not really doing much at all? So think strategically and ask tough questions to the organizations that you're going to invest the Lord's money in, to make sure that they are making a difference in doing what they say that their mission is.